Greetings and salutations. I am late. I'm also Karen Russmore. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully I should be able to get set up just about any moment now. We have with us, as always, Crit Commissions.
Hello.
Where we are going to be continuing to play some Final Fantasy XIV. I've forgotten what we were up to. Oh, diplomacy. We just arrived on an island, very oriental styled. And we need to seek passageway to not this island. Wibble my cat, wibble indeed. I'm hoping that my thing is going to be working now. This is a test. Yay, that eventually arrived on my tablet. Climbing tall buildings for no reason. Yes, that's something else that we did, is climb to the top of the building and then take some pictures and throw ourselves off. We also, after that, we also started mucking around and doing other tall buildings, which is where we'll find me now, at the top of the building. Being all zen-like. I could jump down, but that'll probably hurt, so let's... Where am I teleporting to? Kugane. Yes? Oh wow, video is way behind text. Need to speak to Alpha now. Who is over this way somewhere. Crit Commissions cannot hear you at the moment. But that might be because they're on mute eating some food. Or everything started to go wrong.
No, I think we're okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
There we go. But no, I'm not eating just yet. Food's not here. Well, food's not cooked.
Curse who is ever making you food. Are you in the Ruby Bazaar?
I am.
How do I get into the Ruby Bazaar?
You speak to the person. You speak to the receptionist.
Oh. Greetings, honoured sir. Will you be entering the Ruby Bazaar offices? Yes. Alpha, no. What do you want? Though I am reluctant to take any action whatsoever that could be constructed as placing ourselves in Lord Lolito's debt, we must avail ourselves to what means are available. Our Alamegan allies place their faith in us, and I do not intend to disappoint them. A man with a plan! It would seem inefficient for us to all venture out together in search of information on Yugiri and Gotsetsu's location. Agreed?
Agreed. We need to cast out net wider, split up and pursue all available avenues of inquiry. But if we're to coordinate our efforts effectively, we'll need to establish a working base of operations here.
Indeed. Tataru, you would be seem best suited to the task of organizing our supplies and procuring new ones. While she attends to that, we four can begin our search by questioning the individuals Hancock identified. LSA and I will take the southern district of the city, and the two of you can take the north. In anticipation for such an eventuality, I took the liberty of preparing a few sketches of Yugiri and Getsetsu.
Gosetsu.
Gosetsu. during our voyage. Greetings, Saber. Thank you for the raid. It's Lissay.
Oh, wow, you should have warned me that you were a bit of an artist. But these are great. They'll definitely come in handy. Looks like it's you and me. Let's step outside and talk about where to start.
Bye, Teteru. I won't mind if you murdered that guy while we're away.
Oh, Hancock's harmless.
I still want him dead.
Wow, half of those sketches or so, I don't know how to put it, but they're very, well, see for yourself.
You already showed us. You may view Alphino's sketch at any time during this quest by using the relevant item in the key items menu. Oh, I need to view the sketch.
I also need to just hop away a quick second, sorry.
I need to view it with Lissay. What?
It's viewable in key items.
It's now telling me that I need to view it with her. Oh, there. Go and take a look, see what I mean. I know. I brought it up. I don't know how I brought it up. Where's key items? Is it in part of the inventory?
Yes. Alright, I'll be right back.
Alright.
Carry on.
It looks a little more like them than they do. Honestly, he could make a living doing this. Sorry, it's no time for distractions. Why don't we start by visiting Karaku and at the onsen, that was it. Vinkara will inevitably catch up. While I try and figure out where the smeg I'm supposed to be going. There's a little thing in the corner of the map. Oh, my face might be over it. Wait, where's my face? No, my face is on the other side. Okay, so I need to go up and over that bridge. Kogane Dori. I'm the kind of tourist who will just go into a back alley somewhere and just get mugged because it's like, I have no idea where I'm going. Okay. Over the bridge. A bridge that looks like it's compensating for something because it's huge. Got some legendary Pokemon, nice. Well, it's even further over this way. I have no idea what legendary Pokemon are in terms of how they're any different to any other Pokemon. You know, it's like, in theory, Pikachu should be legendary because he's the one with the biggest legend, given how many people have heard of Pikachu. Whereas others like Gyarados are very fancy, but I don't think are legendary, and not many people have heard of them. And then you've got the others. I think there's a legendary in every Pokemon game. Come one, come all, cuts, burns, embarrassing rashes. There is naught that the mystical waters of Bokensen hot springs cannot heal. Oh, what is that in your hand? You seek this aura and this Rogundan, do you? 1,000 apologies, but I cannot help. It is against our policy to divulge information regarding patrons past and present. Please, we came all the way from Eorzea to find our friends. We have our reputation to consider, miss. Men and women from all walks of life come here in search of rejuvenation, body and soul. They seek privacy and discretion, and we have ever honoured their wishes. Only the Seski Saigumai may demand otherwise. I am sorry, but there is naught I can do. I suppose we'll just have to ask someone else then. What about that woman who runs a hostelry? Kotokaze? Was it? Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. And out we go. Now to get lost again, because I'm pretty sure it's not this way. Hiya! Set case Segome. Rough pronunciation. Rough pronunciations is all you're ever gonna get from me. In here. Welcome, traveller. Can I interest you in some rice wine? Exceptional quality, delivered but the other day. An Aure Shinobi and Regarden Samurai. If I may, I would answer your questions with some few of my own. Mine own. If I speak to you, if I speak of that which you know, Ijin, not be offended. You are familiar with the situations in the lands across the Ruby Sea. The doomed rebellion after 2.5 decades of quiet. I see, and you are familiar with the ways of the Hingashi? How we elect to stand apart and support no cause but our own? Indifferent and callous, as some may call us, but pragmatism is essential if a humble island nation such as ours is to survive. We are not fools. Complete isolation is impractical. So the Kugane is open to Ijin, and we are equally hospitable to all. Or, if I must speak more plainly, yes, I can help you, but if I do, I must also oblige the ones who asked after you. If you're willing to accept this treatment, accept this fair and equitable treatment. If anyone comes looking for us, tell them whatever you like. As you wish. The two individuals of whom you speak did indeed come here. They sought passage across the Ruby Sea. Few ships are willing to make that trip at the moment. Nevertheless, I made several introductions on their behalf. That was the extent of our interaction. I will provide you with the names of the captains, if you like. You've been a great help, Mistress Kotokaze. I'll be sure to come back for that wine sometime. We will welcome your custom, miss. We should question these captains as soon as we can. You take the first three, I'll take the rest, and we'll meet up here when we're finished, alright? Good luck. Hey, Vinkara is here.
I am. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay.
Cool.
You good?
Mm. We need to go to the docks.
They really do make big bridges here, don't they?
It's because we're tiny people. Everything looks bigger. But mind you, I think I said the same thing about buildings in World of Warcraft that were just excessively big.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same token, these buildings are excessively big.
Mm. The giant ship you see in the distance, I'm pretty sure that's the ocean fishing boat.
The ocean fishing boat?
Yeah. So you can do ocean fishing here, which is like an instance event that runs every 2 hours. But you see the boat sailing around.
Ah, okay. Passengers? No, we no longer offer that service. Too much trouble. Now, we only transport goods. I told this to the samurai and sent him on his way. The one, if it is women you seek, there are plenty, and there are pleasure. Ugh. English. The woman, if it's a woman you seek, the pleasure houses have plenty. Wow, he's so nice. Oh. Yes, a Rogandan gentleman did approach me. He wanted to charter a ship to take him across the Ruby Sea, the Mad Devil. I sent him away, like all the others before him. The woman? Nay, I know her not. Wait. You turn around. Wait, how the hell?
I did turn around.
Right, okay, yes, right. Oh god, I got lost. In my brain, I got so lost then. You ask me if I see this Aori woman and this Rogundan samurai? The old woman is unknown to me, but the man is not. He was from Domer, but I could not help him. We travel solely between here and Razatan. It would be an unreasonable detour. I think these peasants know nothing. Or we could torture them just to make sure.
I'm down for that.
Cool. We're just gonna sing I Know a Song That Gets on Your Nerves at them?
I mean, hey, if it works for tricks.
It happens to all MMOs, everything always ends up oversized. It's the best source of XP for the Fisher class. Fair enough.
How did it? Oh, never mind. Judging by the look on your face, you didn't have much better luck than I did. Well, I suppose we might as well head back too. Wait, I've just remembered. There was someone on my list I forgot to visit. Gyodo. He's an Amazon fisherman, whatever that means, and a regular here. Maybe we'll find him if we look around. Namazu.
What? Why do you stare? You have business with me?
Private 12. We're talking fish.
Yes, the talking fish. How very observant of you, Ancient. You find me in good spirits, so your rudeness I will ignore this once, but only if you address me again in the proper manner.
Sorry, I've never met her. Let's start again. You're Gyodo, right? My name is Lise, and this is Vinkara. We're looking for some friends of ours.
I see, but these ones I know well. I helped them secure passage across the Ruby Sea.
Really? That's wonderful. Could you do the same for us?
Yes, this will be not a problem. For you, I will charter a ship this very day. But the journey is fraught with much peril. The fare will not be cheap. Are you sure you can afford to pay?
Didn't think to bring any money, but surely Tataru will let us take whatever we need from the Scion's coffers, right? We wouldn't be the only passengers, though. Could we take a moment to talk it over with our friends?
Yes, but hurry. Our ship must depart under cover of darkness. We shall meet again at sunset on the Tassogare Bridge. Do not forget your fare. Bring many gil, yes?
By the time our luck changed, Alphino and the others will be thrilled.
This is why people are aware that potatoes are the most evil race. Is that in relation to anything? Maybe the torture? Maybe the torture. I mean, is torture really evil? The torture, yes. Apparently, Saber's got a problem with torture.
Oh, clearly doesn't play potato.
Greetings, honoured sir. Will you be entering the Ruby Bazaar offices today? Yes. For the love of God, yes. Just leave the door open. Put it ajar. We spoke with a number of merchants and captains at the southern pier. Several recognized Gosetsu. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
And confirmed that he had been searching for a vessel to deliver him to Othard. None, however, made any mention of the Lady Yugiri.
Yes, it was the same story for us, and then you'll never believe what happened.
We found a fishman who said yes, he'd seen them and arranged passage. So this Gyodo claims to have aided both Gosetsu and Yugiri? How fortuitous. Not the word I would have chosen, Master Alpha now.
Stupid's what I'd call it. How can you agree to his price without making any attempts to haggle, or even confirming what it was in the first place?
Yes, that too was a misstep on their part, but that's not what troubles me most. Yodo and his brethren are not renowned for their generosity of spirit. Rather, they are disdained as scheming moneylenders, even ever eager to turn a profit for others' misfortune.
Everyone else we questioned stated that Gosetsu was alone. Only Gyodo claims to have met both him and Yugiri. I suppose it's just possible that Gosetsu made inquiries by himself, and only called upon Yugiri once he found a willing captain.
But it is equally possible, if not more likely, that you are being deceived. Do not forget that there are parties present in Kugane with agendas which may run contrary to our own. The Viceroy was once a spy herself, as I recall. I should be surprised if she did not have countless agents in her employ, all eager to prove themselves to their new master. And what better way to do so than delivering her head of foreign and what better way to do so than by delivering her the heads of foreign insurgents?
Fine, you might be right about him, but if Gyodo's working for the Empire, who's to say he didn't try the same trick on Yugiri and Gosetsu? I mean, if he did, he might know where they are, and if he succeeded, they might be in trouble. Anyway, if he holds up his end of the bargain, we'll have nothing to worry about, will we? But if he tries to betray us, I vote we take him prisoner and punch him till he tells us the truth.
See? Not just the potatoes.
So, if it's a trap, we'll spring it and deal with the consequences. I like the way you think.
So, very well. We should prepare for the worst. Tataru will remain here, and I shall follow the three of you at a discreet distance. Once more, I must caution you against. I must caution you to avoid physical alterations at all costs, even should Imperial agents attempt to engage you. The Seki
Segumi.
What?
Seki Segumi.
Seki Segumi. Seki Segumi. No, I've lost it again. Will not hesitate to clap you in irons or cut you down. If anything untoward should happen, you are to return here at once. Is that clear? This isn't promising torture, just bodily harm. There's a difference. No, there isn't. Punching somebody until they give you the right answer and torturing them is literally the same definition as punching somebody until they give you the right answer.
To review, Lise, Finkara and I will meet with Gyodo as planned. Alphina will keep watch from a distance, ready to provide support in the likely event that Gyodo attempts to betray us to the Imperials or whomever else. Should that happen, you and Lise will subdue him and together we will make our escape. As our actions will surely draw the attention of the Seki Segumi, we will evade them with Alphinode's assistance and return here with our prisoner. Does that meet everyone's approval? Of course, these precautions will be for naught if Gyodo does not play us for fools, but we shall see. To the bridge.
To the bridge. Evening, all things geek girl. Sorry, I did notice you arrived. We were in the middle of a thing, and then I forgot about it while we were discussing torture. and bodily harm, and that's not my potato. Where's my potato?
The potatoes ran away.
Okay. There was a potato between me and you, and it was like, nope, that's not my potato.
At least you recognised it wasn't your potato this time.
Look, it happened once. I thought we agreed never to talk about it. I'm pretty sure you've gone running after the wrong potato.
Lies and slander. I'm gonna leave your party.
Our would-be ally is nowhere to be seen. Make ready, Rue. Something smells fishy. Begin quest. It's probably a trap.
He's late.
Endless and most sincere apologies to you and yours, yes, yes. This way, quickly now.
Look, that Amazon.
For the voices.
Is that everything?
Enough. Where are you taking us? Where is the ship?
This ship. So very sorry to inform you, yes, yes. Long before was it pledged to another. To me. These ones are for Doma.
I knew it couldn't be this simple.
Nothing personal, yes, yes. Just business.
Then business is about to take a turn for the worse. Come on, let's find a way out of here.
I'm pretty sure our instructions was explicitly clear in just running away.
I mean, but well, then you wouldn't get to fight the Imperials.
Nope, wrong buttons. Everything's wrong. As expected, the Seskisei-gumi have caught our scent. Since fighting is out of the question, we'll have to wind our way back to the Ruby Bazaar, evading their patrols as we go. If they find you, use these smoke bombs to make your escape. Use smoke bombs to evade patrols. Be warned that attacking the Setsei-gumi will result in failure. I keep meaning to get back into FF14. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. What part did you get up to a certain degree? Which way are we supposed to be going? Nope, not that way either. Through the building? Can we go through the building? No, we can't go through the building. This doesn't help, although... God damn it, we're not allowed to swim across. Run for it! Bum, 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 bum. God damn it. Dead end. Nope. Nope, nope. Back up, back up. Shit. Spotted. Smoke bomb away! Hey RetroTed, thank you for the subscription. It is very dramatic. We're evading the law. We got into a fight when we shouldn't really be fighting. That's not fair. I thought I was supposed to go down that way. Okay. Nope, not allowed that way. What? Come with me, I'll guide you to your friends. First a talking fish, now a tortoise. So, what have we got to lose? Where are you taking me? Nope, bound. Come on. Pretty sure he's just gonna drag us into an alley to beat us up or something. Ah, no, here we go. You know what happens when you fight the law. The law wins, apparently, but none of you got smoke bombs.
Yeah, but we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on our side.
Well, turtle.
Stay hidden and quiet. Understood?
Clear the road! Clear the road! You there, Korjin. We seek 4 foreigners. 1 a brutish woman carrying an unconscious Namazu. Have you seen them?
For foreigners, you say? Ah, yes! Very rude they were, making no apology as they barged past. But they went that way, I think.
Many thanks, good sir. With me, they cannot have gone far.
All is well. The Sekisei Gumi will not return this way for some time, I should think. You are of the East Aldenard Trading Company, yes? Come with me. I know a safer way.
So the fish aren't to be believed, but the turtles are. No, Retrotemi and J-Station managed to sort out the Pokemon trafficking.
And with guests, I see.
Our meeting went about as well as expected. We brought the Namazu who thought to betray us. When he wakes up, we'll see what he knows about Yugiri and Gazetsu.
Well done, you. When I saw the Sekisei Gumi out in force, I did begin to worry, but I see my fears were misplaced.
Actually, if it weren't for Soroban, we might not have gotten away.
'Twas my pleasure.
Yet I must ask, Soroban, why would you deceive the Sekisegumi to help us, foreigners of whom you know naught?
Why, out of the kindness of my heart, is what I would like to say, but my motives are not so pure. I chanced to witness your meeting with Hancock at the tavern and saw an opportunity.
An opportunity.
Like many, I came to Kugane as a trader to make my fortune. Korjin of the Red may serve the Empire as mercenaries, but Korjin of the Blue walk a different path. Regretfully, most here would rather not meet our gaze, much less do business. So I seek the custom of those less predisposed to dismiss us outright, namely the East Aldenard Trading Company.
Quid pro quo, is it? Well, there is no denying that we owe you a debt. What say you, Hancock? Will you consider doing business with our entrepreneurial friend here?
Rest assured, Master Soroban, that in matters of trade, the company does not discriminate. We would be honored to hear your proposal.
I promise you will not regret this, good sir. Ah, yes. You sought passage across the Ruby Sea, did you not? I have a ship you can use.
You do? Well then, far be it from us to refuse. You have our deepest thanks.
And you mine.
His voice does not match his style.
I accidentally spoke to Lise, so you're gonna have to.
I'm still annoyed he tried to deceive us, but at least we were prepared for it. Even so, next time we should probably try to avoid the running around Kugane in the middle of the night with half a city guard snapping at our heels.
Right then, Yoda should be coming round soon. I think it's time we had a little chat, don't you?
Wait, didn't the turtle leave?
No.
Oh.
Rise and silence, little fishy. I know you can hear me, so stop pretending to be asleep, or I'll give you another ride on my boot.
No, Moz. No more boots. All my secrets are yours for the asking.
Tell us what you know about Yugiri and Gosetsu, every last detail. And if I find out later you lied to me...
No more lies. The clear, unvarnished truth. You have my word. Only the samurai did I meet. Yes, only him. He asked after a ship, so I provided an introduction to the Galleons.
You mean you let him into a trap as you did us? Because you are an Imperial spy.
No, I am no spy. It was just business. Fewer ships pass through Kugane these days, and we have struggled to make ends meet. So when the Galleons offered a bounty for any domos found in Kugane.
Oh, my mistake. You're not a spy, but a common cutthroat. Not that I'm surprised. You need half a brain to be a spy. So what happened to the samurai?
Such a cruel, vicious tongue you have. He would not go quietly. No. Blades were drawn. Men were cut down, and the Seskegumi Gumai came. They took the samurai away. Hold on a moment. You mean to tell me the Indian they arrested the other day was Gosetsu? Oh, had I had known if he was in custody of the Sekiske Gume, I need only see to it that the requisite funds find their way to the right official's hands, and your friend will walk free. As it is in Noldar, so it is in Kugane, but given the circumstances, it seems we have no choice but resort to morally questionable means. We'll make a pragmatist out of you yet, Master Alphino. You are free to wait here while I speak to the relevant officials, but if you would rather wait for Gosetsu outside the barracks, we can go together.
I wouldn't put it past the Imperials to try something again, so mayhap it will be best if Lise Vinkara and I joined you. Alright, but what about Gyodo?
I will keep an eye on him for the time being. We can release him after your return with Gosetsu. You will doubtlessly have some choice words to say to the little fellow. Soroban, mayhaps it would be prudent to prepare your ship for our immediate departure. As you wish. Everything in order? Then let us be off. The Satsuki Segume barracks are to the north. See, that's a playable race we need. The fish people.
We can't play any other beast tribes, unfortunately.
That's a playable race that we need. The fish people.
You can get the Namazu head. That'll get you close enough.
slalom. I love the way it's all like we step inside for 5 minutes, have a conversation, and then we're good to go back out. No longer being chased by the police. That's how the law works, right?
Of course.
I must ask that you wait here. You may be assured that this will not take long.
My cat's in the way of my screen.
Is it really going to be as simple as he says, do you think?
But it wouldn't take long, right? Because this feels like a bit like a long time to me. Calm down, Lise. Everything's going alright. Much as I hate to admit it, I share Hancock's dim view of government officials and their supposed incorruptibility. From what I've gleaned of the Far East, they're probably exchanging lengthy pleasantries. There seems to be a correct way to do everything here. Bribery being no exception. I say we leave them to it, right? Right. Everything's fine. Probably. I mean, it couldn't be as bad as the last time we stood around waiting for something to happen. What, like the sylphs? Like the sylphs lease?
I think she's talking about the time that we met the fish person, you know, like 5 minutes ago.
Oh no, she's definitely talking about the sylphs.
Was that? That was Gazetsu. I'm sure of it. He's in trouble. Lise, wait. I suppose we should follow her then.
See what I mean? See what I mean?
I like police.
Victory to the samurai!
How many is that now? 10 in a row?
Gazetsu!
Oh, this is a surprise. What in blue blazes are you three doing here?
I could ask you the same thing. We've been looking all over for you, and then I suddenly heard you screaming.
It would seem there has been a misunderstanding.
So, in summary, you started a brawl with some off-duty Imperial soldiers and were subsequently arrested by the Sekisekuni, whom you somehow befriended and convinced to set you free if you could defeat a given number of them in single combat.
10 bouts for my freedom, aye. 'Tis but a pity you came too late to witness the last one. And with that, I'm free to go, yes?
Our word once given may not be broken, but we pray you make every
He
effort
sounds
to
so
avoid
bored.
future. Circumstances notwithstanding, my lord, we are honored and grateful to have witnessed firsthand the skill of a Doma samurai.
Oh. We had just concluded negotiations. I I gather my assistance was not required.
Somebody just took a lot of money from him. Sylphs, the party elder, fucking Guido. Look, Lise is passionate, okay? If a little bit dim-witted. I must apologize that you endured such trials and tribulations in search of me.
There's no need for that. You had no way of knowing we would come looking for you. You're after a ship to take you to Doma, yes? It just so happens we found a willing captain.
Truly, what fortune.
We'll tell you all about it back at the company offices. Alphino and Tataru are waiting for us there.
As will be Yugiri. Nobody will have summoned her, but Yugiri will be there. It's a guess. But not an uncommon one when dealing with the shinobi. I can jump it. Hey! There's more instances of waiting around for something to happen, but they're often later than your progression. Let us in already. Gosetsu, thank the 12, you are unharmed. As you can see, Master Alphinu, I am the very picture of health. You vile fiend, malevolent trickster, how kind the Kami are to grant me a vengeance so soon. But first I demand you return the coin you so villainously embezzled from me. You have every right to be angry, good sir. Gladly I would return to you your coin, had I not been forced to repay certain gambling debts beforehand. Setting the matter aside for a moment, where is Lady Yugiri? Was she not travelling with you? For a time, but we parted ways some while ago, to better improve our chances of finding Lord Hyan. Lord Hyan?
Lord Hyan, yeah.
Forgive me, I have yet to explain. Lord Hyan is the heir to the Domo throne and our master. He was a passionate voice for the cause of Doman liberation, and when we learnt of the Emperor's death, it only grew louder. So you seized upon the opportunity and rose up to reclaim your freedom, only for your hopes to be dashed when Xenos led his armies onto your lands. The Crown Prince was a merciless foe. Against him and the might of the 13th, we had no chance. Once Lord Hyan understood this, he bade Yugiri to take to the sea with as many of our people as possible. He, however, would stand and fight, that they might have more time to escape. I remained by his side as well, and together we carried on our doomed war. Then, one day, in a fierce battle, we were separated. I knew not what became of him, only that he was beyond the Empire's reach, and that to find him I would need Yugiri's aid. The situation grows more perilous by the day, for the new Viceroy, Yotsuyu, is a black-hearted villainess who delights in the torment of our people. There is naught she would not do to further her pursuit of Lord Hyan. Thank you. I believe that makes matters a good deal clearer. It shall please to you to learn that we come to the aid of the Doman Liberation Front in resuming your efforts to overthrow their imperial oppressors. But allow me to join you. My inquiries here have borne no fruit, hence my desire to return to Othard. Once there, I can lead you to our headquarters in Yanexia, where we shall all be reunited with Yugiri.
Mayhap not all. Alphinaud's talents would seem better applied here in Kugane, working closely with Tataru and Hancock to feed us intelligence. There is a Garlean embassy just down the road, after all.
While I appreciate the vote of confidence, I should be glad to accompany you all.
As a soldier in the field, so to speak? Come now, brother. A competent commander assigns his soldiers to the tasks best suited to them, as you of all people should know, and you are so very good at espionage and intrigue.
For we must all serve, each in our own way. Very well. It would seem my place is here.
Caravan is waiting at the pier. Have fun, you lot.
It's not Hyan, it's Hyan. 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 Oh yeah, Hyan. The Japanese IE will always confuse me. Do. I have been waiting for you, my friends. All preparations have been completed and my ship awaits its passengers. Shall we depart without further delay? After you, my shelled friend. If you insist. With me, everyone. The Ruby Sea awaits.
Remember the water, how it turned crimson in the morning sun. A shimmering sea of rubies, stretching from horizon to horizon. the shores of Othard, our Doman brothers struggled in vain.
Is that a pile of rocks?
You know the Palace of the Dead?
Yes.
The deep dungeon.
Yep.
That's Heaven on High. The other deep dungeon.
We're going upwards.
Mm-hmm.
So, a pile of rocks then.
Pretty much.
Fair enough. How wide and beautiful she is, the ruby sea, filled with promise and adventure and treasures. Many wonderful treasures. Destination unknown.
Congrats on the love.
Chain stratagem. Increases the rate at which the target takes critical hits by 10%. You got a complete Palace of the Dead to get access to Heaven on High there. Fair enough.
You only need to do the first 50 floors, though.
So not completed them.
No.
Now, in order to reach the shores of Othard, you will need to cross the resplendent waters you see before you. However, that is easier said than done. Set forth without making the necessary preparations is to invite the Confederacy to claim your vessel, and your life if you resist. But this fate can be avoided by paying the ruby tithe, thereby earning you the blessing of the pirate lords. So, let us go and greet them. Our destination is the isle to the west.
That doesn't look very far to me. Why don't we jump in and swim for it? I've had my fill of boats.
An excellent idea. I think you shall find the water to your liking. I will use my ship to deliver those less inclined to the island. Why do I get the feeling that we gotta swim it, even if we wanted to use a boat?
You would be right.
God dang it. We look funny jumping in the water.
Right, this should be easy, and a good way to loosen up before the next fight, whenever that comes. 20 gills says I beat you there.
Just jump out of the water. And give you and look at a profile. Tell me that doesn't look weird.
I think it looks majestic.
Majestic, yes. Weird for a potato, though. Ah, there you are. I trust you enjoyed yourselves. Follow me, my friends. The one with whom we must speak is a man named Tensu. Swan? The guy at the top of the hill. I mean, it's more majestic than being fired out of a spud gun. I mean, I take it being fired. They had cannons over there. I'm pretty sure we could have fit in them. They seem to have a large enough bore. I fear you have me at the advantage. Most honorable and esteemed Rulander, I am Tensui? Tensui, a humble mate who serves at the pleasure of the Confederacy Captain. As you are in company of a shellback, I presume you have business to discuss. Greetings, Krifu. No worries, lurk away. Tensui. You wish to pay the red tithe, yes? With your guild, perhaps? It is just as well. Foreign currencies are in demand these days. I would pay for their passage to Orford. Does this sum meet your satisfaction? The sea has been quite tempestuous of late. I cannot say with confidence that you would reach your destination safely unless you tripled it. Do you take me for a fool? I know the price, as do all. Alas, we live in interesting times. As you came from Kugane, I should think I need not tell you that. The shadows of war looms, and the wise and cautious shirk our waters and our customs, and the foolhardy sharpen their knives in anticipation.
Meaning?
Sir, you've got to come quickly. The bastards are at it again. I tried to convince them to stop, but they weren't for having it. Very well, I will be there shortly. Proposition. Your comrades strike me as a worthwhile investment. I would not hear men name me a cat before Coburn. So I shall consider their tithe paid, not for what they have done, but for what I expect they will do.
Sure what to make of that, man, but at least the matter of our tithe is settled for now. What was that and the other pirates were talking about? Maybe we ought to go and have a look.
Geronimo! Wasn't as far down as I was expecting. That was a bit further. A lot more people than you, Saber, have tried to teach me how to speak and or read. I'm a lost cause. I give it up. Because is E or but it could also be pronounced a half dozen different ways, depending on whether you're talking about how you pronounce it in Japanese, German, English. My brain is mush and gets very easily confused. God damn it. That's a big crab. Are your buffs up?
No.
Should they be up?
Probably.
Gentlemen, I'm told you are most unreceptive to my associate's requests. I realize you do not look kindly on the Confederacy and her ways, but if you refuse to pay the ruby tithe, your safety in these waters cannot be assured.
Spare me your concern, pilot. Your feeble attempts at extortion will not work on us. You remain at large because we allow it. Because you are such insignificant little pests that we see no need to swat you. But if you wish to risk the ire of the Viceroy, by all means, fire upon an Imperial vessel. Give us a reason to bring the full might of the Garlean Empire to bear against your pathetic fleet.
Bastards!
Gentlemen, surely the fact that you have such limitless resources at your disposal gives you all the more reason to spare some few coins for the less fortunate.
All talk, just as I thought. Come, let us away. I have no time for this rubbish.
We're all the same to them, aren't we? Savages to be ruled or slaughtered.
They've always balked at paying the ruby tithe, but they were never so eager to pick a fight. The problem, you see, is that many of my comrades in the Confederacy are of Doman descent, and the acting Viceroy, well, she's none too fond of Domans, to say the least. If we take any action to hinder the safe passage of an Imperial vessel, she'll accuse us of attempting to foment rebellion and brand us enemies of the Empire, which we can ill afford to be. Like the man said, we're all talk.
And where did the Kojin stand in all this?
With the winning side, of course. They're mercenaries to a fault, eager to offer their services without coercion. The Shellback could tell you more, though something tells me he would rather not.
I don't understand. If the Garleans are causing the Confederacy this much trouble, and if so many of you are Doman to begin with, why aren't you willing to fight back?
Spoken like a true friend of the Doman Liberation Front. If you're planning to rouse us with noble words and grand promises, don't bother. We all know what the Imperial Army can do. Compared to them, we're boys with bows. Besides, what ties a man may once have held to his home are forsaken upon joining the Confederacy. We look out for none but our own. Be that as it may, our livelihood is under threat, and the captain will need to decide soon whether we're to go down in a blaze of glory or bow and scrape for crumbs from the Emperor's table. All while our friend the Viceroy continues her purge of Doma's radical elements. I believe she's holding court in one of the fishing villages as we speak.
That she-devil! Her perfidy knows no bounds! She must be stopped! Come, let us find Sullivan and put us here at once!
Tell the others that these ones have paid. We all have places to be.
What are we waiting for? Come on! Showman cannot have gone far. Though now I think on it, it is passing strange that he left without warning. Mayhaps he did not wish to be seen by his Kojin brethren. I doubt, though, he'd leave us behind, but nevertheless it may be prudent to return to his ship, or at least the Confederate encampment. Shouldn't the shark be in the water?
Hmm?
There's a shark over there that's not in the water, it's on the water.
I mean, my whale floats, so...
Yep.
Shark floating isn't too strange. You like crab raving?
I mean, it's a hobby.
No, you had a crab attacking you.
Oh, wrong button. I forgot we're in the lands of things that still attack us.
And we will be for a good many levels to come.
Sharks can fly in this game. What do you expect? I mean, I expect some bearing on the physics of everything. But then again, you know, I gave up on that when the whale started flying. God dang it. Come on. Yep. Bowser. Sprint to catch up. Bombfish are after me. Bombfish of Europe. Oh, my friends, 1,000 pardons. As you may have guessed, I was reluctant to be seen in your company by my red brothers. Ours is a complex relationship. I pray you do not misinterpret these actions as a reflection on our allegiances as a whole. You understand. Kami be praised. Too often the shadowless quick to judge the Kojin for the deeds of one. Right then, now that our business with Tatsui is concluded, we can traverse the Ruby Sea without fear. Here, let me give you a pair of useless boots. I shall return to the ship and prepare for our departure. If you have any remaining business to conduct with the pirates here, I pray you do so now. That reminds me, would you be so kind as to inform the Confederates of our plans? The more they know of our movements, the less likely we are to be mistaken for another vessel by their comrades. Wait, how am I supposed to know where you want us to go? Did you just turn my heart to stone?
No, I cast Heart of Stone on you.
Which would turn my heart to stone? You got a bunch.
Things that give you regen and reduce damage.
Hmm. Did you just
It
level up?
requires shooting you with my gun, but it works.
I'm not entirely sure that's a good idea, but I'll accept it. Oh, you're the ones. You're the one of the engine on the beach, leaving us already. No need to pay the tithe, like Tensui said. On the other hand, if you were to peruse our wares and find anything to your liking, we'd be glad to sell you it for a fair price. Geronimo! Ooh. I think I just swallowed my kneecaps.
You know what you need? Region!
You just leveled up and got some new skills.
No, I've had that for a while.
Yeah. You have spoken with the Confederates up above, Ian. Excellent. If you are ready to depart, we may do so at any time. All aboard! Let us be off. I shall deliver you to the fishing village of Izara. Isari?
Sorry.
Isari. Wait, Tensumi said that the Viceroy was holding court in one of the fishing villages, did he not? Should Ishari be chanced to be the village in question, we could instantly find ourselves surrounded by Imperial soldiers. I think it's safer to come ashore some distance away. I forgot that wasn't Alpha now. Well, very well. I know just the place. Here we are. I am reasonably certain none bore witness to our approach, and with this I believe I have fulfilled the terms of our agreement. Aye, that you have. You have my deepest thanks, Thoroban. Truly, we are blessed to have befriended such a clever and industrious merchant. Oh, you are too kind, good sir. I know not where your path may lead, but I wish you the very best and hope that we shall meet again.
I might have skipped over it, sorry.
So we have finally arrived in Othard. All we need to do now is liberate Domo? Ah yes, that. Look, daunting though it is, we have one thing in our favour, the element of surprise. Unlike in Giarabani, the Imperials don't know we're here. Admittedly, that may be our only advantage, considering how few of us there are. I expect the Doman Liberation Front will help, will even the odds up a bit. But before all that, we need to see if the fishing village Tesue was talking about. That's a rock go-getsu. It may be. It may well be. I smell ceruleum on the breeze. Ceruleum.
Even accounting for the rebellion, such indiscriminate shows of force seem pointlessly excessive.
No, it's actually voice acted.
Oh, so it is. I don't know why her voice didn't kick in for me.
If only you knew how commonplace such things have become. Are we too late?
Come now. You've no reason to look so afraid. You have lived through a quarter of a century of Garlean rule, remember? 'Tis better to bend with the wind than stand tall and be broken. Therein lies hope. Therein lies freedom. I come before you today seeking affirmation. A heartfelt declaration. You're free to answer me as you see fit, yet even the least among you should know the correct response. Should. A resident of your village, one of your neighbors, mayhap your friend, was detained by the Korjin this morning. They say he was attempting to flee to Kugane. But we both know that simply isn't true, don't we? Have you anything to say? Bit slow, this one. Is there anyone more sensible among you? Have any of you anything to say? To swear?
My lady, I swear to serve the Empire, to do whatever is asked of me, and never disobey.
Well said, that man. Of course, it wouldn't do to simply take you at your word. Kill him. Surely you can do that much. He must be guilty of something or other, or he wouldn't have attempted to flee the Empire.
I have a family. Kami, forgive me. Kami, forgive me.
Very, very good. I've always had a soft spot for men like you. Next, I want you to shoot those two over there. Too old to work, you understand. A burden on the Empire. We can't have that.
But they're my parents. You can't expect me to...
What's it asking me? What will you say? We can't not now. To what question? Did it ask us a question?
No, it's more. Should we jump in and help them?
We will show them no mercy.
Stop and think for a moment. If you go charging in now, every one of those villages is as good as dead. We must consider the wider picture. If we act recklessly, we risk alerting the Garleans to our presence here, making it that much harder for us to work with the local rebels. To say nothing of the reprisals ordinary civilians would be made to suffer.
Open your eyes, girl. They are already suffering. Let me go. I am putting an end to this madness. I will approach the village alone and identify myself. As a former leader of the rebellion and a known fugitive, they will wish to detain me until they are certain they have learned all I know. Use this time to make your plans.
You saw what those monsters did to the villagers. Who knows what they'll do to you, assuming they don't kill you where you stand?
We live and die at the pleasure of the Kami. My fate is in their hands and no others. If it be of any comfort, I am no stranger to chains.
You can't expect us to stand idly by as a comrade goes marching off to his death. And this is nothing like Kugane.
Nor is it like the Reach, Lise, or the Wall. Let him go. Hold out for as long as you can, but remember, noble sacrifices are to remain an absolute last resort. I wish I could say it won't come to that, but only the gods know how we're going to get you and the others out in one piece. A miracle, perchance.
A great tower stands to the north and east. Look to its occupants for aid and succor. Together, you may yet find your miracle. Now, leave this place. I must go.
Bom bom bom.
Another idiot like all the rest. I'm beginning to think it may be something fundamental. Something intrinsic. Something quintessentially dormant to ignore the simple truth. You can't do a damn thing if you're dead.
Enough, Yotsuyu!
Well now, this is a surprise.
Hear me, Yotsuyu! Cease this farce, here and now, and I shall surrender myself to you. Refuse, and all shall answer to my blade.
Bring him to the tavern.
Oh, she's all like, bring him to the tavern. I'm pretty sure he's going to bring himself to the tavern. They barely get a say in the matter.
Dun dun dun.
Dun da da.
I hate this as much as you, maybe even more. Every fibre of my being was crying out to intervene, but what's done is done. Gosetsu's gamble has gifted us the time we need to find a solution. He bade us seek aid at the distant tower, yes? For want of a better idea, so we do just that, while taking care to avoid the Imperials. Hey, watch. Wave to the Imperial.
He doesn't seem to be paying very much attention to us. We're stealing a boat. Sounds like a good idea. Then we won't have to get wet.
I wish.
We're gonna have to swim over there, aren't we?
Yeah, for now. We seem to have evaded their patrols so far. What is that tower anyway? I've never seen anything like it. According to my map, we are in Onokoro, and the tower is known as Heaven on High, a mysterious structure built long ago by persons unknown. Oh gods, listen to me. I'm starting to sound like Alpha now. Next thing you know, I'll be saying things like, as you are doubtless already aware. Over there, do you see it? Doesn't look like it's been dead long. Whoever did this, they're a good shot. Can't see a single stray arrow. Well, someone's hungry. Wait, that wasn't either of you two, was it? Calm down, we had nothing to do with... Wait, what am I doing? They can't possibly understand us. Probably not, no. Time to run, Lise. We save our strength for any that give chase. You too, Big Car.
Meh. Meh. Oh, one of them got me. Yeah.
Just imagine if they'd taken us by surprise. What a fine ending that would have been to our story. Anyway, I think it's safe to assume that the people at the tower know how to defend themselves. You'd have to, sharing an island with these things. All we need to do is convince them to help us.
It'll be easy, just like myself.
Low blow, sir.
What is Lise doing?
Oh, there's a settlement here. They've got their own etherite. Wait a minute. I've seen that standard before. It was when we went with Tansui. Does that mean this place belongs to? Oh. It would seem that we have found a Confederate settlement, mayhap even the headquarters, judging by the size of the place. So Gosetsu bade us seek out the Confederacy for aid and succor, the self-same Confederacy that refuses to openly oppose the Empire. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, I suppose. At the very least, they're unlikely to ask us for a tithe.
Touch the crystal. Touch the pretty glowy rock of a crystal. Hi-yah!
With your face.
Tansui. We meet again. What wind brings you hither of all places? Were you not bound for Ophard's shores? I see. I trust you have not forgotten our previous conversation on the subject, no? Then what do you want? A second opinion? Very well. Come with me. I shall take you to Captain Rasho.
Just like that? An audience with our leader? How very accommodating. We must need to choose our words carefully. You leave it to me. I've always been good with people. And this will also give me a chance to use the Eastern greeting they showed me in reference to all. Kodo!
The king, just when you think they've left it long enough to close that wound, they just rip it right back open and just pour salt in there.
Never forgive, never forget. Greetings. You must be Rasho, leader of the Confederacy and so on. I realise this is a bit sudden, but the thing is, we've got a little favour to ask. Oh gods, I've probably broken half a dozen rules of Far Eastern etiquette already. Well, I'm sorry about that, but you have to understand that we're in a hurry, so I'm gonna stop talking now.
Men who revere manners and tradition can be found all over the world, but not here. Your candor is appreciated. Speak your heart.
Yes, let me talk.
Gosetsu, a former leader of the rebellion. I know of him. Why he bade you to position us for aid and succor, however, I do not know. At the risk of repeating myself, to join the Confederacy is to renounce all other ties. We are beholden to none, allied with none. When Doma was invaded by the Empire 25 years ago, we did not rush to her defense. Knowing this, do you honestly expect us to help you drive the Imperial forces out of Ishari? The Garleans have long maintained a presence in this region, and we would be fools to break the peace, fragile as it is. Besides, you are capable warriors, yes? With guile and preparation, you can surely resolve this matter yourselves.
It is imperative that our presence here remains secret for as long as possible. For us to openly engage the Imperials at this time would endanger everything we have come here to achieve.
You have told us why you cannot fight, but not why we should fight in your stead. If I would ask you, if you would speak to me of lives saved, I would speak to you of slaughter. How many will die when all pretense is lost and the Garleans declare war on the Confederacy? Hate is a luxury we cannot afford. You are free to come and go as you please, but you will receive no further aid.
Thank you for your hospitality. If you would excuse us.
Bye!
A very red aura.
Is it red?
It's very red.
Hmm. Gravity.
Hey, I know that didn't go well, but I'm not prepared to give up on them yet. Gosetsu told us to come here for a reason. He must have believed we could convince them to help us. We just have to work out how. My thoughts exactly. I'm glad to hear we're of the same mind. It is little wonder they refused. We have done naught to persuade them. The real work begins now. We need to learn more about the Confederacy, what their needs and weaknesses are, and once we know that, we will know how to earn their trust. Through exploitation.
First step, steal their weapons. The armors and armorer have been piled up haphazardly. They display no signs of recent use or maintenance. I don't know what I'm looking for. Anything that glows?
Anything that glows. After all that glitters is a quest item.
I thought they tended to explode.
Only on a Monday.
Segway! You can usually find me in crit commissions on Mondays with Retro Take Rifu Badal and J Station playing a Fly Through or Die campaign over on Manapot Studios. Links is probably going to appear in the chat at some point. A number of crates and barrels have been stored here. On closer inspection, however, most are empty. Only run to clear off the other side of the pier. Taking an interest in the ship. Aye. Good eye. She's not much to look at, but once upon a time she was a beauty. The Confederacy favours flotillas of smaller ships to capture or board errant vessels. The larger ones, like the Sekibume, only take part in major engagements. Now that we've had, not that we've had any of those recently. What with the Imperial bastards throwing their weight around. If it wasn't for them, well, no use moaning about what you can't change, eh? Spoilers, it's Monday in-game. Oh, we need to speak with Alice. Where's Alice? I saw Lisa earlier. I figured the
You'll never find us.
I found you.
Wanna go look around? Then we just need to wait for Lise. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I wanted to talk to as many people as I could. It's just as stands to be said, they have no intention of standing up to Yatsu. I don't know if you two got a different impression.
Under the right circumstances, they might help us.
I agree. It's obvious that they're struggling to survive and that they blame the Imperials for their recent troubles. Even if we do nothing, it's inevitable that they will come into conflict with the Empire sooner or later, and deep down they all know it. The only thing holding them back at the moment is the belief that they lack the strength to survive the coming war. So we need to prove to them that we're not all talk, and that we can be valuable allies in the fight. What better way to demonstrate our worth than by seeking out people with mundane problems and offering them our expert assistance? Won't be the first time we've had to earn someone's trust by helping them out with this and that. And you know it won't be the last. I'll look around the western end of Ankoro. You two to the east, and good luck. Errand boy. Errand boy.
Oh, new emote, Eastern Bale. Where are you going?
Where am I going?
Oh, I see it. Sorry, I saw one on the map that was in the other direction. You strike me as a strong and capable individual. I have a job for you, Westerner, if you're courageous as well. On the beach far to the west lies the carcass of Guyuki? Feathered with arrows. I would have you go and retrieve those, which may still be of use. While you're about it, I should be glad if you were to butcher its tail for meat. Very good meat in Guyuki tails, you know. But I did say you would need to be the courageous sort, and I meant it. The beast was young. Don't be surprised if an angry mother mourns its child. You there, hi, you. Have you seen a bumbling clod of an Aura? A new recruit I ordered to patrol the northern edge of Okoro. He is late in returning. A strange boy he was, quiet and brooding, reluctant to speak unless spoken to first. Better that a fool who never holds his tongue, perhaps. Much as I would enjoy dragging him here by the ear, I cannot. Duty compels me to remain. You, on the other hand, have no such obligations. Left, right.
Oh, there's a quest up at the top, is there?
Yep.
Whee! We really need to poke around off screen sometime and get the etherites for you. Ether currents.
Oh yeah. I mean, we could do it on stream.
We'll do it on stream. Oh, yes.
It's usually the sound of crit commissions being offered food.
In this case, Vimto.
Or drink.
Can he take me? What kind of pirate cannot suffer the sway of the ocean? A new recruit from far-flung shores? Listen well, I have a task for you. Go first to Aokumo below and receive of him medicine for men of the earth. Then to quick escape appear, and the hapless Doman bemoaning his wretched fate. Quickly.
Off you go. We're not jumping down?
Here we are. Whee!
Please don't murder me. Please don't murder me. Please don't
It's a
murder me.
fate. So long as you don't sync up to it, you're fine.
Still partially expecting them to murder me. I'll try at least.
One of my cats has just kicked the other one in the face.
You cast about for the Confederate recruit, but see no one matching his description. You cast about for the Confederate recruit, and at last spy a young Auri man lurking behind the rocks to the west. How we spotted him, I have no idea.
Imagine he was peeking out and just staring at us. Yes.
Who are you? You do not look like a man of the Confederacy. Forgive me. 'Twas but yesterday we bid farewell to one of our own, and I was worried she might have lost her way. We laid her to rest in a boat and pushed her out till the currents claimed it. For the sea is our home, now and ever after. But those sent thither were with burdened hearts may drift back to shore, it is said. Out of concern for her comrades, she strove to earn far more than her keep. She hunted rare and deadly game in treacherous waters and lost her life for it. But my vigil is ended. Her vassal has not returned to Oncanoro. She has made peace with this life and placed her faith in us to live on. Well, he's a cheerful sod, isn't he?
I mean, his friend did just die.
I mean, fair.
I just like the fact that the seawater is like up to our waists.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's chilling, like, oh yeah, we're wading. It's up to our, you know, our ankles and our thighs, but it's all good, and we're just like almost swimming.
Help, help, I'm drowning.
I need to put something on my hot bar.
Do you really have to do it in the middle of combat?
Yeah. Oh, it died. That's a shame.
I'm pretty sure we'll come across more.
Oh no, yeah, but I have to wait 108 seconds now.
Oh. Why, what did you try doing to it?
Never you mind.
Did it involve explosions?
It didn't. I'm not a black mage or a machinist. think you need to, yeah.
Yeah, I need to interact with it twice. Once for the arrows, once for the tail food.
Oh, bear with me 1 second. Watch out! Oh yeah, one of the things that I might be doing, I don't know, I've not decided yet. This is talking to the people of the stream, not to create commissions. Do you know, I've been streaming for over a year now and I've not taken a single week off. I've taken a couple of days off here and there due to illness and double booking of appointments and whatnot. But it's been over a year since I've had a break, and I'm on leave from work for like 2 weeks, so I don't know per se if I'm going to be streaming my usual schedule. There's a chance that I will do. There's a chance where I'll continue streaming, because at the end of the day, this is something that I do for enjoyment, and I still enjoy it. It's just sometimes I feel like, I would rather be doing this, or, you know, it's like, it'll come to, so like half an hour before stream, and it's like, I could really do with a nap. Usually when I'm streaming, it's like, no, okay, I need to, so like, power through this, and, bye? Oh, we're going back. And cheated.
I mean, I was waiting for you. So, yeah, until if I feel like I need a nap 5 minutes before I'm going to stream, then I'm going to take a nap in the next couple of weeks. If I feel up for streaming, then I'm just going to continue the streaming for the usual schedule. So I may not be around on Thursday, I may not be around on Friday. I know that I need to let JStation and MyCan_UK know if I'm not around come Friday, but we'll burn those bridges when we get to them. And as always, Vinkara went one way and I went the other. Running over. You have been away for some time, perhaps in search of a young Guki corpse. Here, have 8 tail me 3 arrows. Really? Was it worth the 3 arrows? I see, I did not misjudge you. Thank you for your help. What, would that I could have intended to my own kill, but such is life. A pity the meat is not as delicious as it is nutritious. Under normal circumstances, we would not bother hunting Guki as game, but as you may have heard, these are not normal circumstances. Arrows, too, must be reused when possible. A prudent measure becomes a necessity, alas. With every passing day, our future grows more uncertain. But this day we shall have full bellows, and in that we must take solace. And wayward travellers need not risk the ire of the vengeful Guki by wandering near my neglected kill. A strange sigh passes your lips. I said something odd? No matter. Thank you again for your aid. So what of my recruit? Did you find him napping on the beach or some such? What? All this time he was standing watch for the funeral vessel? Huh. So rarely does he give a voice to his thoughts. I had no idea our comrade's death affected him so. Too quick was I to judge him. It is good that you sent... you went in my stead, else I may have misspoken and made a fool of myself. Please accept this as a token of my gratitude. The pocket change. Thing is, we get paid a lot of pocket change. I've got nearly 500,000 gil, and it's one of them where it's like, we really do get paid nothing in a lot of these cases. Come at the behest of Afumi for medicine. The very best is yours for the taking. I pity how a lot of the let's spit that one again. How pitiful the lot of this domain unable to stomach the sea. A true Confederate could raise a dozen ship while in his cups. Mayhaps this one should return whence he came. Right, up over the edge and keep running to the water. Bye! Cool video again. I wonder whether the pixie favors healing you sometimes.
It knows who's carrying the team.
Yes, me, because if I die, you die.
That's not necessarily true.
Maybe we should go to this after talking to the guy. There we go. I lost you.
I was auto running.
Why does it shift and shudder still? Landlubber's best mate. A sack full of victuals to help the would-be pirate keep his insides on the inside. Medicines, give them here. They may look down at me for resorting to such measures, but I would do aught to render the world stable and motionless once more. You are kind, as is Afumi. You may tell her that I will return to my duties as soon as I am able. Gotta run around to the other side and then back up, don't we?
Yep.
I should really put in a rope or something.
I mean, but that doesn't make it very defensible.
I mean, it's not that difficult to cut a rope. Or just untie it at the top.
Adam was raised in the mountains of his homeland. The first time he saw the sea was after he fled his homeland and came to us. He tosses and turns in his sleep. When he takes to the water, it's not long before he can no longer stand. But he will grow accustomed to this life. He's hardly the first, after all. The captain, too, was once of Doma, though he cast all aside 25 years ago when the Imperials took his lands and the lives of his parents and brothers. Perhaps you too will renounce your ties and join us someday. I must have took you for a recruit before, but I know your tale now. Tansui unfolded all. Think of my offer, Westerner. You may find small joys in the land, but the sea holds salvation.
We get to sign up with the pirates?
I wish. We're kind of with Limsa Laminza. They're the pirate faction, technically.
I mean, they're not very piratey, are they? When's the
No,
last
they're
time
not.
we were on one of their ships?
When we came to Kugane?
Was it one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Limsa Laminza's. It was an independent fleet.
Yeah, it was an independent fleet, but they hail from Limsa.
Yeah. You have been busy, haven't you? Now, and now you'll say you're here to ask if I need help with anything. Now you mention it. Lately I've had trouble with ravenous sharks that have been leaping out of the water and making off with our fish. Damnedest thing, I know. But you wouldn't doubt it if you saw it. We've got to cull this thieving bastards regularly. So happens I sent 3 of my mates out there before you came along. Still, the more the merrier. If you can kill 2 or so, that ought to be enough. Take a few of the rotting fish as bait. Not that you'll need them. Oh, and maybe you can see if you can't find the other group. They've been on the way longer than I like. Oh. Take the fish. That's why it's pointing us still here. It's a Limsa ship, but it's not part of the Maelstrom. I always
Yes,
think
it was
of...
captained by not Xenos.
Oh, destination. It's wrong spell.
Oh, it didn't work. Never mind.
What didn't work?
I was trying to make you take the aggro.
Why?
Because I thought it'd be funny.
I'll give you funny. No heals for you next dungeon. See how hilarious you find it. Ah, floating brain thing trying to eat me. Hey, we move. Didn't move in time. Sharp shells are red. Of the red. Oh, can we be praised? I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along. My partners and I got separated when we fled. I haven't seen them. Have you? Damned. Before the Kojin started chasing us, their leader asked us if we were a doman. Their Yatsuyu's... Yatsuyu? Yatsue...
No, you got it right.
Yatsuyu's catchers. I know it. First Ishari and now this. I've got to tell Rasho and the others. We're just leaving the rest of them out now? Alright.
He's implying they were caught by Yatsuyu's men.
The Red Kujin are mercenaries in the Gallian Empire. I wasn't sure if they were mercenaries or just thrown their lot in with them.
Kind of both.
I mean, yeah, to a certain degree, if you're not careful with being a mercenary, you either end up working for someone so exclusively that you might as well be part of them. Why are you going that way around?
But no, I had auto run on and wasn't looking at my screen.
Fair enough.
Spilled ice cream on my desk.
Lick it.
No.
Get the cats to lick it?
No.
I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Ah, there you are. I heard you went shark hunting. We did our fair share of beast culling, though I think Lise made a stronger impression when she bested a drunken pirate in a sparring match. Fastest knockout to date, I'm told. I should like to think we have proven ourselves to be rather... Why do I get the feeling you have something important to tell me? Kojin mercenaries rounding up Doman Confederates. Surely Yatsuyu has crossed the line now. We must go and speak with Rasho immediately. Even he cannot deny that this changes everything. At least, I should like to think he cannot.
Yes, you stand there while I run up there, and then you'll walk in behind me and take all the credit for doing the talking.
most compassionate acquaintances return. For your deeds we owe you many thanks. But something tells me our thanks are not sufficient. The strange thing is, I was certain you understood our position. And yet here you are with that same look in your eyes, and those same words upon your lips, I'll wager.
I speak only the truth. The Confederacy will not be spared Yotsuyu's wrath. You have always known this, that one day you would have no choice but to stand up to the Empire. I say to you that day is today, and come once more to ask that you join us in the fight.
How convenient that recent events should lend such credence to your claims. Tell me, do death and destruction always follow in your wake?
They had no part in it, Tansui. You know this. We all know this.
Only sometimes.
They came and took our Doman brothers. They will torture them for her sport. Murder them for her satisfaction. So we attack and get butchered for our trouble, or do naught and let them have their pound of flesh. If this be our choice, I say we suffer the ignominy. We endure. We survive. There is no better path. Until the day our enemy is grown weaker and we stronger, there can be no retribution. We will wait for a sign. Such is the judgment of the Confederacy.
So that's it then. You're just going to abandon them to her. They'd die for you, you know, for the Confederacy. They would die for you, but you wouldn't even think to risk your lives for theirs.
I have one last idea, if you will allow. I'm afraid it's not very good as ideas go. It's exceedingly reckless, in fact, and you may well come to despise me for ever having suggested it. Assuming we survive, that is. The question being, do you trust me?
Do you even need to ask?
We can't stand by and let innocent people suffer, here or anywhere else. I'll do whatever it takes.
Then let us roll the dice. If it's a sign you want, we shall give you one. One rousing enough to make you drive every Garlean out of Isari without a second thought. You are wary of invoking the ire of the Imperial forces stationed in Dome, correct? Know then that once we have rescued our comrade and freed Isari, we mean to liberate the nation as a whole. You will doubtless require assurances that we are capable of achieving this, and that is only fair. Accordingly, we shall demonstrate our seriousness by depriving the Garleans of a key ally, the Kojin.
What, the three of you, just like that?
Actually, my esteemed colleague here will attend to it on his own. But the how of it is not your concern, only the outcome. If we succeed, you help us liberate Isari. If we fail, you lose nothing. A simple enough wager, if you have the stones for it.
The little miss does make it hard to refuse, does she not?
Words are air. We will weigh you by your deeds.
I honestly thought he was going to try and strike out at least. It could have been funny watching how that went. Yeah, suddenly quests everywhere.
It's usually how it goes.
So, alone you will deal with the Kojin. If you have set upon this course, I shall give you a word of advice. Two factions of the Kojin. The mercenaries who serve the Empire belong to the red. Those who belong to the blue are the traders. They have made no pact with the Imperials, so may be willing to aid your cause. Seek the blue on the Isle of Becca. There you will find a cave. The rest is up to you.
Thank you, Captain. We shall endeavour not to keep you waiting over long for your sign. Right then, let us head for... Wait, where is Lise? We cannot leave without her.
Who's she trying to punch now?
She'll claim they deserved it.
Pardon?
She'll claim they deserved it.
They probably did deserve it, but at the same token... Does she have to? If I know Lise, she'll be hiding behind this rock, crying about something. I don't know.
Why hide on a rock when you've got a very scenic pier to stand on the end of instead?
Ah, yes. Oh god, she's drowned somebody. Quick, I'll save you.
What is it? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to wander off. I just wanted to have a think. You're worried we won't be able to live up to our promises. No, it's not that at all. If anything, I'm frustrated that I didn't think of it first. Ida and my father had a way with words. They knew how to inspire people, how to bring them together. I always hoped I might have something of that in me too, but I'm starting to think I don't. What am I even doing here?
Punching things.
At least you've... Gods, listen to me. I don't even know where that came from. Forget I said anything. We have places to go, Imperials to fight, and friends to save, and we're not going to get any of it done by standing around here and moaning, are we? Right? Before we first travelled to Garabania, I was in Limsa visiting a friend. A young child who had been through a great deal. That's neither here nor there, I suppose. Anyway, on the way back, I passed a patisserie, which sold some of the most exquisite-looking tarts I'd ever seen. I always preferred cookies, to be honest, but nevertheless, I decided to stop and try one. I'll treat you to one when all this is over. And Cara too. And I won't take no for an answer. What about Ishtola? We never hear the end of it. Alright, Ishtola too, once she's better. Deal? Good then, let's hurry, shall we? We have a million things to do before then.
What did that have to do with anything?
I think it cheered Lise up. I think.
Okay. Where are we supposed to be going now?
We're going...
Join Lise on the Isle of Becca.
Yeah, okay, part of me was hoping we could, there is a ferry you can take, I just don't remember it.
We're just gonna drive there. That didn't work.
Carl can't swim.
Oh no, I think I know why you're gunning for that island.
You can't get the ether right yet.
I have no idea why you're gunning for that island.
Because I do be believing it might be the island we want. Thank you muchly.
I've lost sight of you. Oh, it is that island that we want. The crabs, they like me.
What is it with you and crabs?
I don't know. See, this one's probably going to come after me as well, yeah. We are the same level, aren't we? Oh no, I'm 2 less than you, that's why I'm gathering all the bleed aggro.
If you run in front of them, you also pick up the aggro. If you run behind them, you're kind of okay.
I ran exactly where you ran. Because with the other ones, it was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. I believe that was my fault. And then that one came along and I ran exactly where you ran. And it's like, nope, they like me.
I think this is the Isle of Becco, to be honest. It looks the same to me as however many other islands there are around here. Rasha said there was a cave that would lead us to their village, which is a church further inland.
Oh god, my cat. Also, if you run in front of a car, you'll be tired. If you run behind a car, you'll be exhausted. And there's no fair, it doesn't matter. It's 11 levels you need for not to aggro. The thing is, by how I feel that it's going, I think it might be slowly reducing to the point where at level 11 you can stand on top of them and they don't aggro. I've seen that in a lot of MMOs where it's like, if you're, if you're a level 1 running into a level 60 zone, the entire zone aggroes you basically. Oh, cutscene.
Is that light I see up ahead?
So I was Vinkara not aggroed when I was.
I just dodged its line of sight, that's all.
We appear to be standing inside a giant bubble. By the 12. I think we're on the seabed.
Well, well, I thought I heard familiar voices.
Soroban, what are you doing here?
Oh, what a curious question. I live here.
Then this is the home of the Blue Kojin.
Just so. I bid you welcome to Tamamizu.
Sounds very much like tiramisu, which is delicious.
How fortunately we should find a familiar face in this place. We should tell Soroban about our situation. If anyone can help us, it is him.
I mean, he's right there. So tell me, my friends, what strange tides bear you to our home? That is indeed a most dire predicament, but perhaps an opportunity for us to craft yet another profitable arrangement. Very well, I shall introduce you to our leader, Butchin. It will be up to you, however, to present your case. Now do we touch the aetheryte? Ow.
With your face.
I said ow because I fell down and didn't realise there was a gap.
Welcome, guests. Gratitude to you for aiding Soroban in his negotiations.
We thank you for your hospitality, honored elder. Pray forgive me my brevity, but I wish to discuss an urgent matter.
So, you seek to compel our Red Brothers to forego hostilities for a time.
That's right. We know your two clans have your differences, but what with you being brothers and all, we thought you might be able to share some secret knowledge or something?
From far above, you have journeyed here in search of our wisdom. You shall have it. All creation is a tapestry, through which the divine is interwoven. Kami are legion, and they can be found in the great and the small. Though they come and go as they please, they favor certain vessels. The ancient, the precious, the exquisite. We Kojin covet these vessels, these treasures. We go forth and bring them home to keep them safe and bask in their divinity. They bring prosperity and joy to us and our children. Yet, how were we to seek these treasures above if we made enemies of the Garlean Empire, powerful and far-reaching as they are? Wiser to join with them. So resolved the Red Kojin. Cautiously and carefully, for the Garleans are blind to the divine, nor will they suffer their subjects to see. So the Red masquerade as mercenaries who seek money and power, and never speak of their faith in the presence of their masters. To honor the divine, they deny it. A twisted and misguided path. Aye. Kami will not abide such foolishness. This they shall learn to their sorrow. While our Red Brothers live by the sword, we Blue Kojin uphold the old ways, engaging in trade and valuing peace. wish not between our clans, and judgment for the doings of the Red falls unjustly upon the Blue. Thus do men grow more and more reluctant to deal with us, denying us our treasures. This cannot continue.
On that point, we are in agreement. You are willing to aid our cause, then?
There is a way that the Red may be driven to retreat into their shells. But to share with you this knowledge is to reveal secrets of the divine. Assurances must first be had, trust forged, a bargain struck. Well said, Elder. In great crises is great profit to be had. Delight not overmuch in such things, sort of bun. Now, tell our guests what must be done. As you wish.
Well, I've no idea what we've gotten ourselves into, but so far so good, right?
Right?
Wrong.
See what Sherban's
Yeah,
got
I'm sure it's fine.
to say. Listen well, my friends. We require your assistance with the search for a priceless treasure. Yasakangi no Magatama. The jewel, this is most sacred of Kojin relics, was in possession of Hingashai until they decided to present it to the Gallians as a gesture for conciliation. The Red would not abide this, so they plotted to seize the vessel, bearing it to their imperial masters. Alas, though they succeeded. In the ensuing chaos, the Magnatama was lost at sea. I wish to recover the sacred jewel before our brothers. However, were we to come into conflict with them, it would be problematic. Therefore, we turn to you. We want you to search the ocean floor for this treasure of yours. I'm not sure how we're supposed to do without, you know. Oh wait. That was somebody else speaking, wasn't it?
It was.
Drowning, fear not. There is a ritual I can perform to imbue your bodies with powerful blessings. But first, you must prepare offerings for the sea. I require twisted ruby coral, several fish-sized sea snail shells, and a freshly harvested unkiu carapace.
That's quite the shopping list. I will see to the shells, and Lise can look for the coral. Vikara, would you go and find the unkui and relieve it of its carapace?
No. You've got the sword. You do it! God dang it.
You fool, we all got swords.
I've got a book. Literally been carrying around a book this entire time.
Well, that's on you then.
I mean, to be fair, I do have a selection of swords. Yeah, I've got quite a selection of weapons. Some of them I don't even know how to use. The book is mightier than the sword. It's a pen. The pen you're thinking of. It's not the book is mightier than the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword.
Pixie is mightier than the sword?
What?
Said the pixie is mightier than the sword?
Quite possibly. But usually the pixie is wielding the sword, so... Found a turtle. Crab. Carapace. To me! Oh, apparently one wasn't good enough.
You know how MMOs go, you don't always get the item.
How are you doing with your... tokens?
My notes.
Notes, that's it.
Still need 3 more.
Have you done much to try and get the other 3?
I was in there last week. But no joy.
Hey, we got the carapace. Lise, did you not see us fighting? I think I see some ruby coral over there. It's a bit far, but I can swim for it. I mean, just punch things. How quick my dearest brother was to boast for his firewood gathering techniques. If only he were here to gather these shells in my stead.
Oh, someone's new game plusing.
How can you tell?
Because he has a mount that you can only get from, unless it's in the Moogle Trove at the moment, but that mount, you get it from the level 70 Savage raids.
Right. Please be water. Hey, oh, water still hurts. I mean, it's kind of real to life, but you know, it's one of them where video games confuse me. I saw a streamer playing some mobile game that's loosely based. Isn't it down here we want to go?
Yeah.
On one of the Final Fantasies. I think it's 7. I don't know. And it's like PUBG and the rest of the battle royales, and you drop out of the aircraft. In all the rest of them you get a parachute or hang glider or something to get you safely to the ground. Nope, it's FF, it's just extra. They execute a 3-point landing and walk away from it from like 20,000 feet. Well, have you the Unkayu's carapace? How splendid they are. The Kami will be most pleased, I am sure.
Got the ruby coral that you wanted. And the sea snail shells. They are about the size of my fist, though I realise now you may have meant yours.
We shall more than suffice for our purpose. Next, we must make ready to present them to the sea and perform the ritual. Once it has been completed, you will be able to move freely through the depths and find the Yasakani no Magatama.
Out of curiosity, how large is this sacred jewel of yours? Unless it's far too large to be carried by the 3 of us, how are we supposed to ever find it? The Ruby Sea is not exactly small.
Surely you realize you have been searching this whole time. The area you wish to explore is but a small fraction of the Ruby Sea. Already we have scoured most of the seabed near and within our territory, to no avail. All that remains is the region to the west. The shellless of Sunosato can provide you with better guidance, and we. You would do well to visit them first.
You mean the Koji are not the only ones living under the sea?
Of course not. Ryan have been here as long as I can remember. Shio Sai, the overseer, I believe, can tell you more when you arrive. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. We have yet to carry out the ritual.
Next time.
I was going to say, we're just going to wrap it up there. Now back to just talking for a bit. Thank you for joining us this evening. I cannot see. There we go. This has been Final Fantasy 14 Session 6, I believe.
What it says.
Pardon?
I said it's what it says.
It's what it says. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. I just write it in there and hope for the best. Where was I going with this? Yes. Hopefully, or maybe, we will be back next Tuesday, although I believe that'll be the last Tuesday for a while that you'll be available for Final Fantasy 14.
Yep.
As the new content for Endwalker comes out and Crit Commissions goes whole hog and nobody will hear from them for quite a while. So, but maybe back next week with it. Depends on whether I decide to take the day off or not. If not, it will be... We might end up playing some of this off stream. As and when we find the time, so this might not be the next thing that you see on stream, but early access in 2 Fridays. Fair enough. Somebody's excited about it. I mean,
Early access is next Friday. It's not even 2 Fridays. It's technically 1.
it depends on how you define next Friday and this Friday.
Yeah, true.
Because I define next Friday as this Friday coming up. I know that a lot of people say this Friday is this Friday and next Friday is the one after this Friday. It's a week on Friday. How's that?
Yeah.
That works okay. We're all agreed it's a week on Friday. So yeah, I've been Karen Rossmar. You can usually find me here on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. As I mentioned earlier, I might not be around this week, next week, depending on how I feel about it. But I will be streaming Pathfinder Kingmaker on Thursdays and either Hitman 3 or Prey on Fridays.
Wait, you're doing Kingmaker again?
No, I'm not. I'm playing Pillars of Eternity. Oh my god, my brain is fried. Just absolutely dead. It's Pillars of Eternity on Thursdays and Prey or Hitman 3 on Fridays. That sound better, right?
Sounds about right.
Yep. Okay, great stuff. Because I'm not going back to Kingmaker anytime soon. And great commissions. Tell them about yourself.
Critic Commissions, except for here on Twitch because accounts. You can find me across various social medias doing artsy things under the same Critic Commissions banner thing.
Yep, and you can find both me, Crit Commissions, JStation64, RetroTed, and Krifu Banal over on Manapot Studios every Monday for a Starfinder Adventure Path Fly Free or Die in a stream that we call All That Glitters Explodes, where I think you've just had and done your first successful trade without too many complications. I mean, the complications came beforehand, just trying to get hold of the Black Hearts, but you acquired the Black Hearts and you sold them at a profit. So yes, that is where you can find us. I'm just going to take a quick look at the internets. Let's just see if there's anybody. There is nobody I know streaming. So we are just going to be calling the stream here. And I hope to see you all next time. And until then, taddy bye.
Bye.